figure. Said I dream too big, about to do it way bigger. I'm the boss when I walk through, straighten up and sit up. I ain't never had to tell them, but they know that I'm that. Finish that. So many wins, I had to go ahead and bring it back. All of you, my sons, go ahead and get the Similac. Yeah, swerve when I'm pulling in. I ain't asking for the spot, I tell them better give me that. Taking no losses, can't start now. You know it's about to go up when I touch down. And if they didn't know before, they gonna know now. That I leave a murder scene when I come round. In other words, you know that we about to kill it. I ain't for the talking, I said it, you know I did it. I'm putting on the show, the world is about to feel it. I know they getting scared when I tell them that. We outside. Yeah, we outside. Yeah, we out. Looking at the view from the top. Get into the bed, don't stop. Get into the bed, don't stop. Better catch up, cuz we out. Playing with me, know you playing yourself. If I got a game, I'm gon' bet on myself. Got it on my own, never needed your help. When you see me at the top, know I did it myself. You know we outside till the lights come on. About to make it to the top, it won't take us long. You know I'm blacking out, but I'm in my zone. It's beat money when it call my phone. Whoa, don't need your money, just give me respect. Told you before this, you know I'm a threat. I ain't letting up, I got my foot on their neck. Yeah. In other words, you know that we about to kill it. I ain't for the talking, I said it, you know I did it. I'm putting on the show, the world is about to feel it. I know they getting scared when I tell them that. We outside. Yeah, we outside. Yeah, we out. Looking at the view from the top.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you guys right now, am I going to say this every episode? I just can't help myself after hearing this damn song.
We might have to.
Bro, I think we got to. I got to like acknowledge that song every damn time that you put that song on and testosterone just goes up.
I'm telling you.
Your testosterone just yells, ah, come on, baby. That's what it does every single time. I got to get like weights beside me. I can just lift some weights.
That'll like even us out. By the time the intro's over, we're like, okay, I'm calm, I'm ready to go.
I wouldn't be talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll focus on the show and not the damn song. But everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the one, the only designated Spittaz, guys. We are ready to talk today. We got some conversations ready to rock and roll. Of course, Francis. You know, Francis, by the way, I got to tell you this.
Talk to me.
It's pretty funny because no matter what happened in yesterday's game in the Caribbean series, you could have worn the hat.
I would have been good either way, right? I would have been good either way. It's funny, bro. I'm one of those people, like, those games are so tough for me because I never know which way to go almost. I'm just like, my mom, Puerto Rican, my dad, Dominican. It's tough, man. It's tough. But you guys did a hell of a job calling
like
that
you're saying,
one.
You always getting a W, so it doesn't matter, really.
It's true. It's
true.
true.
You just apologize, like, Mom, look, I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what it is? I know.
It happens.
No, man. Yesterday, I got to say, though, like, people probably won't like it, my Puerto Rican side, but I was kind of pulling for DR just after the WBC game. They needed that get back. That was tough. That WBC game was tough.
Yeah.
So they needed that one. They needed that one.
No doubt about it. But guys, let's get right into the show today, man. Look, we wanna hear from you all because, we have a pretty open conversation today when it comes to the New York Yankees. The first question that we are gonna ask you all, and also me and Francis will discuss, is as it stands right now. Forget about any other move being made. Nothing like that at all happening. Are the New York Yankees a World Series caliber team? Not a playoff contender, a World Series caliber team. That is what we want to ask you all. And look, I'm going to steal something from Kev. I like that he does this. It's pretty fun. Put a 1 if you think they are, a 2 if you do not think they are, or hell, a yes or a no. Doesn't really matter. So you guys, I see a lot of no's already. That's why I'm saying
I saw those no's coming in.
Lord have mercy. Can anybody with a yes? Shit. Cashman, I hope you're watching. I hope you're watching. Oh, we got one yes. Carlos Rivera is maybe the outlier here. Old Sarge says yes.
I see a Monroe with a 1 in there too.
Got to go ground and pound. He said 3.
Old
Ground and
Sarge,
pound
Hush.
believes 3. Okay. Ground and
Oh.
pound believes 3. All
He
right,
believes
okay.
three a couple times there too. I don't
3
know.
a couple of times now.
All
All right. But no, look, man, I'll immediately just say I just feel like too much has to go right now for
Yeah.
the New York Yankees to enter the season and go, yes, they're a World Series caliber team. Now, I guess in a question like this, you got to kind of say to yourself, does everything go right? Or what are we basing it off of? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
are we just basing it off of the looking at the roster? Because I look at the roster, it could be very good. But then I also look at the roster and go, I don't think so.
Exactly. And
So I'll be a no right now. I'll be a
Uh,
no at this moment.
I have to agree with you, my brother. Honestly, it hurts, bro, because with an offseason that started with Juan Soto, and as you're there
December
wearing
6th, I'll never forget it.
listen, you're there, you're wearing the best Soto hat in the freaking business right now, guys. If you haven't got one yet, you know where to go. You know where to find it.
You need to
Come
have a
on.
nice cigar with this, though. I'm telling you. I don't know. I just keep thinking about damn cigars.
Pete was telling me, you put that hat on, you just need to put on one of the guayaberas with a
Yes.
cigar, just
Yeah.
be on a beach somewhere, and I can see it.
Oh,
But I feel like it's hard for me to say no, right? Just thinking that this offseason started with the acquisition of Juan Soto. And
oh man.
I mean that kind of, got us all, pretty worked up just right from jump. And that's
Hell yeah.
to be here in February and now think, yeah, somehow, some way we don't feel like we have a World Series contending roster, even after an offseason that started with Juan Soto. Doesn't it? It seems like what we said at the beginning it came true right before us. I remember Pete saying, you almost have to try to mess this offseason up.
Yeah, the way it was going. Yeah,
The way it was looking.
Yeah, man, no doubt about it.
I think that's where we're at. I'm with you, man. I think they tried and they succeeded to somehow, some way kind of mess up. And I think me and Peter are saying the same thing. Like, it's as currently constructed, right? We're not saying
Yes.
that there's nothing they can do between now and opening day. But
And
as
we're gonna talk
currently
about that. We're
constructed-
gonna talk
yeah,
about that too.
as currently constructed. No, I don't feel comfortable saying that they're World Series favorites, guys. I wish I
Yeah.
could, but I'm not. We're not here to lie to you guys. Come on.
Yeah, we got a couple of super chats. Big Sexy Yankee says the Yankees traded for Freddie Peralta now, who he likes the Yankees traded for Freddie Peralta. And then Rara, we appreciate you, my guy. I'll just put it like this, right? If everything went well, like if somebody were to tell me, but Carlos Rodon makes 25 starts, he looks good, he looks strong. Marcus Stroman is more of the Marcus Stroman we saw the first half of last year. You kind of sit back then and go, well, I mean, they probably got a really good chance then of being a team that could contend for the World Series. But without knowing that and knowing that there's still so many red flags. Now, I don't want people to hear this and be like, oh, you guys don't think they had a good offseason. No. We're going to get to that. We're gonna talk about, how we grade Brian Cashman's performance so far and Hal Steinbrenner. We're going to talk about that too. But the other question now comes together is, are they done? Is this offseason, is this it? Are the New York Yankees completely finished? They got Soto, they got Verdugo, they got Trent Grisham, they got Marcus Stroman, they bring Luke Weaver in. Yeah, there's some other smaller relief pitching moves. Is that it for the New York Yankees? Is that all they do? We've seen Keenan Middleton fell off the board, Wandy Peralta, Shintaro Fujinami. All the relief pitchers we thought we could have a chance at are now all gone. Phil Matan. These guys are off the board.
Felt like literally since we last spoke.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean,
all
I
in
think the
same
only
week, these
thing
guys went away.
was what Wandy had just fallen off the board, but then this week
Yeah.
was the last three you mentioned for Janami, Keenan Middleton.
Yeah.
It kind of all moved in a hurry, and then Phil Matone.
So do you think? I mean, is there another move out there that the Yankees make, or are you just sitting back going, nah? They're probably done. This is probably going to be it for them.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, damn, these are the first two things we start right jumping off the pot. I'm just like, damn, I feel like I'm negative, but it's like.
It's hard.
I can't lie. Like, I don't want to lie to people. It's like, me personally, do I feel like they make another move? No, I don't. I feel like I feel like the Yankees look at where they currently stack up on paper, and I think that they probably believe that they have enough to at least get to the deadline and be more than competitive.
Yeah.
Do I think that they envision what they have on paper now in February as what eventually they're penciling in October? No, I do think
Agreed.
that Cashman probably says, "Hey, look, right now we're not gonna make any knee jerk reaction moves or whatever. Let's go into the season. Let's see how some guys perform. Let's see how the roster shakes out. And at the deadline, if we need to add another, 10, 15 million, but prorated halfway through the season, we go and do that, right? A lot
Right.
of people forget that there's still really big pieces out there that were said to possibly be available via trade and stuff, and we never saw that materialize. That could just be because their markets won't really take shape until the deadline. Maybe Cashman and
Possible.
Co think that those are the moves that make more sense for them. I tend to disagree. I feel like there are things that they could do right now
Right.
to make me feel, me as a fan, and if I was even, a member of the team, feel more secure about our chances. But I don't think so, bro. I think they're right about done.
Yeah. You got to feel that way. The only thing I'll say this. I don't think they're going to go out there and spend money on any other relievers. I'll be honest with you. If you ask me right now, I don't even know who the hell is out there at the moment, like to
Yeah,
add.
it's
I'm
true.
like, I mean, at this point, you might as well just stay with what you got. I will say this man right here, and I still believe it is a possibility. Call me naive, call me a stupid Yankee fan, call me whatever you want. The only reason why I'm going to say I believe if the Yankees add anybody, it will be Blake Snell is because we know they have legitimate interest. Now, whether you want to say, well, Pete, that was pre Marcus Stroman. It wasn't after it was pre Marcus Stroman. Yes, but here's the thing. It still means that all of the New York Yankees people, their baseball people, their nerd department, everybody, including Hal Steinbrenner, the boss, all agreed that we will go over and sign this guy. That's something that we feel we should do. I believe now it's getting to the point. It's getting, as Macho Man Randy Savage said, it's getting to the boiling point. Right?
Yes, it is.
These guys don't got a team to play for. And I say these guys because there's one agent who's basically sitting out there going, whoa, where are these guys going to play?
Yeah.
I feel like at some point, a guy like Snell is going to have to kind of step away from Boris and go, hey, look, this has not turned out the way we wanted it to. I want to win. Let's try to work out something where the AAV for this year is good, and then maybe there's an opt-out and I get back at it next year. It's still risky because he's coming off of a Cy Young. I get it.
Yeah.
But what's out there? People are saying, oh, somebody's going to give him 270. Who?
I mean, where people think that a team is gonna just find 270 million in February that they didn't have on the books in December or
Right.
January is beyond me. But I think we're both in agreement that that I don't think I said it in the chat. You agree? Yesterday
Yeah.
when we was calling the game. I don't see him getting anywhere near 200 at this point. I'm not saying like for the rest of his career because who the hell can freaking guess that right now? I'm
Right.
saying that for the 2024 season, I feel like the contract that he ultimately signs to get on a team for this next coming season doesn't reach 200 million just because of where we are in free agency.
Yep.
I think it's very liable. It's very likely that he signs something like Carlos Correa did, right? Where Correa said, "All right, I'm not gonna sit out here and not play nowhere. I know that I'm worth money. I know what I feel I'm worth. It's not out there for whatever reason. I'm having this issue with the physicals. I mean, Blake Snell. It's funny because him and Correa have a lot in common when you think about it. It's like really great players hitting free agency at a more or less decent time, but injuries and some really big gray clouds over their free agency have kind of got them in this. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You're kind of in no man's land because
Correct.
you're really good. But I mean, especially for Blake Snell, for a pitcher, February 4th, you don't have a team. Pitchers and catchers report in 10 days.
10 days, yeah.
It's crazy. Like you might have to move, your family move to that's a lot.
There's a lot that goes
in
into
10
it.
days. And then
Yeah.
no pitcher. I mean, I don't know how much we can beat a dead horse here. I probably have said it a million times, but I used to pitch, so it's my thing. No pitcher wants to be starting the season behind the 8 ball. Like,
Right.
oh, I started, but I showed up a week late. I showed up a week after the other pitchers did. Like, and then I was playing catch up, all spring, and then no, because that's how you get hurt when you're trying to ramp up and get it to where Garrett's at or whatever because you showed up late. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So as a pitcher, it's like him and Monty. I think this next week that we're going in this week is crazy important.
It is. I mean,
what have we heard?
You got to believe that something has to come from one of these guys. And look, I also, the other thing too about Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery, you've never heard anything negative about these guys off the field. You never heard anything really negative about them with their clubs.
That's a great point.
Aaron Judge is a close friend of Blake Snell. Hell, Garrett Cole has basically openly said, "Oh, thank you for sitting me next to this guy." And I'm trying to, trying to see what I can do over here. I mean, they've kind of come out and expressed that, hey, look, we are interested. It's just that the money isn't there. They counted, the Yankees offered, whether it was 5 years, 6 years, whatever it was, $150 million, and they recounted, like, hey, look, now we want 270. And if I was Hal Steinbrenner too, I would have said, yeah, kick fucking rocks. Are you out your mind? What do you got? What are you guys losing it over there? I'm hanging this phone up. Because now if it's me, if they came back to me as like, hey, look, we want to take the 150 deal, I'd be like, that's gone. I would honestly be, hey, look, man, that 150 is off the table. But if you want to, do you want to, can we, let's figure something out. We still have interest. Let's have this conversation. Let's maybe get you back out on the market if that's, what you want. We're open to doing that. Mm-hmm. Because let's get real here for a second. We can be overly optimistic and we could say a lot could go right with the Yankee rotation. They got better depth than they've had in years. I think we can all agree to that. They got some young studs on the way up that hopefully can do well. But everybody and their mother right here would be happier if you're going Cole, Snell, Rodon, Stroman, and then whoever you want is your number 5. Everybody's entering the year because, Francis, if they do that, does that change your opinion on if this is a World Series caliber team or not?
Oh, 100%. For me, 100%. If they add Blake Snell to the rotation, that changes my opinion on World Series contender. Some people might say, but why would Blake Snell? You don't know what if he doesn't hold up or whatever. I'm talking on paper. You're adding.
That's all you can do right now is on paper.
Pete, you're telling me that I'm going into the season with both Cy Young winners from the previous year as my 1 and 2, and I have Carlos Rodon, who's
Marcus Stroman
trying to bounce back, and I have Marcus Stroman, who's trying to prove himself once again to New York. He finally got to the New York team that he wanted to be at all along. Like, bro, I'm rolling because right now the lineup isn't my worry. Like, bro, I was listening to Dane. Dane did a podcast recently, and I was listening to Dane talk about, just some of the prospects that we can like possibly see this year, and thinking about the offense as it is already. And then when Jason Dominguez comes back, and how Spencer Jones eventually is going to be, probably a factor. It's like, bro, our offense it's not just set. Like, no, it's supposed to be really freaking good this year.
Yeah.
And the bullpen, when you look at it on paper now, I saw some people maybe, kind of shitting on it on Twitter or whatever, but the picture that was floating around Twitter was left out a ton of names. I mean, De Los Santos wasn't even on there. There's a lot of names of guys that we brought in that may not have a job or a solidified role today,
right,
but are expected to contribute at some point throughout the season and have plus stuff in their arsenal. Like, I don't know, like the bullpen is not what's really scaring me outside of, Holmes in the ninth, but we can leave that for another day.
Yeah, and that could always change too,
Exactly.
I mean,
you're right.
The one thing you got to give the Yankees credit for is that they no matter how Boone uses it with the bullpen budget bullshit, which literally should just be kicked away. I mean, you talk about field goals, kick that shit for a fucking field goal and get it out of here.
The button,
but
man.
That's one of the major issues. It's not that the Yankees don't develop guys in their pen. They always seem to do it. They always seem to manage and make that become a strength. You could look at it to start the year and it's like, it looks all right. And by, May, you're like, oh, we're fucking pretty damn good at that bullpen. I mean, but it's the way it becomes utilized is the problem.
The rest of the year.
And that has to do with Boone. And we can even get into Boone because I believe it's one of our topics, actually. We're going to get into that momentarily. Got a couple of super chats. Fast Eddie says the only way to win the World Series, oh my God, is to re-sign Kiyagawa.
Okay.
That'll get it done. I mean, no
That
doubt
is,
about it, Fast Eddie. I mean, that's kind of out the box a little bit, but hey.
That's a name I didn't expect to hear today, Pete. I don't know about you. I mean,
Kiyagawa. Big Sexy Yankee says, you saw Michael K penciling Jones in left field, Dominguez in center field, and Judge in right field for 2025, ignoring Soto because he's been hating on Soto since day one of the trade. Michael K, I think, is getting a little older. Honestly, I don't know how else to answer this. I really don't. And look, I'll say what I say about Michael K all the time.
oh man.
Michael K is one of the better announcers out there. He's one of the better play-by-play guys out there. But when I hear him talking, I'll be honest, which I don't always watch it, but when I see the clips, I'll put it on every now and then. His opinion outside of calling a game, I don't take it into account at all. I really don't. I think it's I think it's sometimes I really believe it's to get people to listen because I don't see how.
A little Skip Bayless.
A little Skip Bayless going
A little
on.
Skip Bayless going on.
Come on, Skip.
Come on, Skip.
Let me just say this real quick when it comes to Juan Soto. The Yankees don't bring back Soto. Let's say he has a phenomenal year. If the Yankees lose Soto and he goes across to another club, I don't think you can have a more disgraceful, disgusting, pathetic moment in Yankee history. It'll go right up there. Because at this point, it's not a level playing field. He's played for you. He's got to see what it is to be a Yankee. You also got an exclusive negotiation window.
Yeah.
If you lose on that, and he moves on somewhere else, and you're penciling in Spencer Jones, who I love, don't get me wrong, he's not Soto. You can't sit here and go, a prospect is the insurance. No, he's not.
No.
Stop that madness. I love the prospects, but stop that madness that we can walk away from this guy because, oh, we got Spencer Jones in AA.
No.
Just cut the shit. Stop it.
No, you're 100% spot on with that. We've been through this. At the end of the day, look at everything that we've spoken about in recent weeks with Volpe, right? I think we had a great segment on it just last episode where you don't want to set your prospects up for that kind of pressure when they come up. And essentially, you'd be doing the same thing that you did to Volpe all over again with Spencer Jones. If you said, well, one of the reasons why we felt comfortable letting Soto walk is because we believe in this kid coming up now. You don't do that. You just don't do that. Because unless Spencer Jones comes up and is immediately producing what Juan Soto produced, it's not going to be received well.
What's the chance of that happening?
0. Because Juan Soto is a fucking unicorn. We've been through this. Like, Spencer Jones is an amazing prospect with an amazingly high freaking ceiling. But nobody's projecting him to be the next Juan Soto. Like, Juan Soto is a unicorn. The guy gets on base every. I mean, do you see what people are you guys looking at this? This is, I mean, look at all the red. Look at all the red. This is worse than Corey Seager's thing. This is ridiculous.
I just put this on because I'm like, let me just show this real quick.
Come on, guys.
And how much I want to say Spencer Jones is going to turn 23 this year. Juan Soto's 25.
Dane's in the chat. He could corroborate that for us.
I'm pretty sure. I want to say this year he's going to turn 23. I believe that's correct.
Unless, of course, you ask Uncle Ted.
20. Juan Soto is 25 friggin' years young, folks. This is unbelievable, man. I mean, just this conversation about this just absolutely drives me mad. But we do got a couple of super chats I want to get to. The one, the only DJ Stelio says, what's up, Gringo Amigo and the Cafe Con Leche man?
Okay.
How you guys doing? Speaking of tendies, go to a farm and get a job to take care of chickens. Congratulations, you're now a chicken tender.
Okay.
These damn jokes, man. You know, he has a book. I'm not joking. He really does. He showed me.
Yeah.
He has a book. He has an actual book. Sincere765 says health will determine how far they go. Very, very true. No question about that. And our guy Slim Lewis says, I have no problem admitting I was wrong about Milwaukee/Burns, but I think I'm right about the Yankees bullshitting their fans. They aren't all in. It's a tough thing to talk about because let's get to grading now. Let's talk about
Yeah.
what we would grade the Yankees offseason.
Yeah.
You got to be very, very hard pressed to not give it above a B. And I just got to be real. If you want to be a hard-nosed fan, I tend to think we are.
Yeah.
We kind of are demanding. I can't give it less than a B. Like, I still got to say B plus. Because listen to me, folks. I get it, man. I get it. The Yankees, you know, and let's also be honest here. The Baltimore Orioles getting Corbin Burns kind of put a little knife in our neck and was like, hey, whoa. It was good, but we got Corbin Burns, bro. Like,
It calmed us down a little bit.
it made you think a little bit.
You know what I mean? It's like when you're driving.
This was nice.
You
This
know,
was
he
nice.
said, this was nice.
It
It's like
was
when
nice.
when you're driving and you got the music bumping and you feel good and you just hit a pothole. You
Yes,
just like-
yes. Your
Corbin
fucking neck
Burns
goes down real quick
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Corbin Burns was the pothole.
He
We
was
was
the
blasting
pothole.
music and then boom, it's like, hold on, turn the music down. What? Corbin
But,
Burns is going where?
Exactly. I mean, I was like this when I saw. But I'll give it a B plus. Look, Juan
Yeah.
Soto, the Yankees, one of their biggest problems last year, we know, on base percentage, batting
Yes.
average.
Yes.
Juan Soto jumps in, immediately improves that. Alex Verdugo improves that.
Yes, sir.
You look at that lineup now, and this team is much more balanced. The biggest issue we had last year was, what the fuck is this roster? Like, how do
Exactly.
you? I always said it. I said, man, if I was Steinbrenner, I would just pull the roster up, look at Cashman, and go, bro, where's my money going? What is this?
I mean, you went through it. You went through it last night, and for those who weren't listening, I think you guys did a great job. You and Kev, when you brought up some of the names that we were going into the season with.
It's
you know,
wild.
it's
wild.
like
So-
Willie Calhoun and all these. It's
Yeah.
like this
So
year.
for me, it's a B
We're not
plus.
saying we're not saying names like that, Pete.
Exactly, and it is constructed better. The
Yeah.
bench has guys that you can say, hey, man, you know, good. All right, let them get in there. Whatever it is, what it is. They're constructed better. They've definitely improved the balance of the lineup. Yes, for me, if they add a starter. And I want to say something to defend myself here. I've never come off the fact that the Yankees need another starter. I've never come off that. It's not because of Burns. So it's not me saying you got to react. No. Go back to all the video. I've always said I want another starter. It shouldn't just be Weaver. I don't see as that because I still feel like he's a kind of a up and down guy. Pen start, whatever it is.
Yeah.
To me, I've always said it. They got Stroman, but get somebody else. Doesn't have to be Snell. Doesn't have to be Cease. It doesn't have to be one of these guys. Add somebody else who you could pencil in as a 4 or 5 and go, you know what? All right. Now I'm a little more comfortable with this club.
Yeah.
That's just my belief. If they do that, it's an A. It's an A.
Bro, episode 1 of DS this season, like one of the bigger topics we spoke about was like the moves that like we would do, right? Coming into the new year. And both me and you both, we just spoke about pitching. It was just pitching. Like we spoke about a possible trade for Bieber. You spoke about getting Cease, both of which are still, you know, they haven't been
Out there.
traded. Just not saying it's going to happen right now. I personally don't think Cease is getting moved until the deadline, but I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Bieber got moved at this point. It wouldn't shock me. I'm just saying.
Would have shocked me that one of those guys go to Baltimore. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But what we've been saying this whole time is it's pitching. It's the rotation. It's because at the end of the day, we know that to get through a MLB season, 162 games, and to be standing, you know, at or near the top, and to set yourself up for success going into the playoffs, you need about 7 quality
Bingo.
arms.
Yeah.
7 quality starting pitchers. Not, and this is not a shot because I freaking love Luis Gil, but Luis Gil is not a guy that you can say, yeah, he's one of those 7. No. Like we can't say that Luis Gil is one of those 7 right now. Right now, you got Garrett Cole, you got Carlos Rodon, you got Marcus Stroman, you got Clark Schmidt, you got Nestor Cortez, right? But Schmidt and Cortez, I mean, I don't know, right? But that's 5. That's 5.
Yeah.
After that,
you got
you just
Weaver.
said, like, do we love Weaver in that spot? We
Yeah.
like him as like a hybrid or whatever, but I don't want Weaver to necessarily have to be number 6. I like him maybe number 7 or 8 there. If you got another frontline starter, if you got a Blake Snell, and pushed everybody I just named back a spot,
Forget
all of a
about it.
sudden this is a freaking elite rotation. And
Yeah.
I don't care that I worry less that the Orioles got Burns. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, it's a great move for them. I'm super happy for Baltimore Orioles fans not named Dan Clark because that guy's annoying. But the rest of you,
He ain't no fucking Orioles
congratulations.
fan anyway.
Exactly. Congratulations to the rest of you. This is a long-suffering fan base. They got a new owner and they made a huge blockbuster trade in the
Yeah,
span of
man.
a week. So
it's-
shouts
what's-
out to them.
You know, the other thing is too that, I said this the other day. I said, look, for me, it's not being scared of the club. It's not nothing like that. For me, it's a good thing for Major League Baseball that the Baltimore Orioles are going to be a team that is now, you look at it, you go, hey, damn. You know what happened the other day? The American League's got a little tougher. Everybody knew it was already tough. It just got a little tougher. That's all. The birds kind of have their wings. Nobody's clipping it now. Nobody's saying dial it back. They're flying. And
The
guess
birds
what?
got their wings. I like
They
that
got
one.
the fucking Yankees gotta be the Yankees. It's why I got this right here. I watched that scene today. It choked me up because that's just who I am. I watched that scene. It chokes me up from The Lion King. Okay, I'm gonna admit it right here, right now.
Hey.
Hal Steinbrenner needs to look outside the stadium. It got to get cloudy out there. And George got to look down and say, remember who you are, you little fuck. Remember who you are. Go spend daddy's money, you bitch. That's what he needs. And needs to go. Then look, I'm not trying to be an ass about Hal Steinbrenner. Hal Steinbrenner spend money. I see people giving the guy shit. What the fuck else do you want him to do? I'm being honest. $300 and something million, really? What else do... Dane was just arguing with a guy on Twitter. But Hal Steinbrenner, what do you want him to do?
He spent over $1 billion the last decade.
I don't want to stick up for this guy, but Jesus Christ, I mean, what else is he expected to do besides spend money that he has?
I feel like my gripe when fans do that is that they attack Hal for the wrong thing. Like the argument that Hal doesn't spend money is just lazy.
Yep.
It's just
What is
lazy.
the argument, Frank? Go ahead, tell us.
The argument is who you're letting spend that money without
Boom.
accountability. That's my
Where's it at?
gripe.
Where's it at?
You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to sit up here. I've never heard Pete sit up here. I've never heard anybody on this channel, for that matter, sit up here and say, well, the Yankees don't spend money and that's their issue. Now, there's been times where we've heard, the rumblings about, oh, they don't want to make a trade because maybe they want to stay under the tax and things. And we sit back and say, come on now. You guys are the Yankees. Don't give me this shit about the tax or this bullshit.
Yeah.
But to sit there and say, no, the issue is that, Hal's cheap. Hal is far from cheap. $1 billion
say that, yeah.
in
Can't
a
say it, man.
decade is nuts. The payroll this season is nuts, okay?
Yeah.
With the amount of money he's putting out there this season, he should already be able to say that he has a World Series contender. The problem is that you've been letting Brian Cashman drive this ship for quite a long time yet, and it's been a while since he got you some results, and you're not holding him accountable, and I don't feel that you even hold his guy in Aaron Boone as accountable as you should. That's my issue. Leadership, Who are you entrusting that money to? The money's being spent though. Let's drop that shit right now.
Yeah, come on now.
The money's
You
being
can't say
spent.
that.
Come on.
If you say that, you put it in the best way possible. It's a lazy argument.
Yeah,
it's like
lazy.
you just haven't been watching, and your way to
Exactly.
go was to say, "Hey, man, Hal's not. It's his
Exactly.
fault." Nah, man. The argument on Hal Steinbrenner is who you've kept to run this club. Mike Fishman's still there. Brian Cashman's still there. Aaron
Exactly.
Boone is still there, who we're gonna get into any second here. Jesus King Chavez with the super chat. He says, "We need Snell. He's the game changer. Let's go Yankees." We appreciate that, my guy. But let's get into our tweet of the week and cover this. Francis sends me these. He finds these, and this one is actually good. This is from @YanksFan4Life. I don't understand the Boone hate. He sticks up for his players, and he has been a good manager. Boone can't force the Yankees to hit and can't control what roster he is given. And if you say that he's not tough on his players, nobody knows how he is behind closed doors. Folks, Francis, if you don't mind, I'm going to let you start, but I just want to throw something in there really quickly. This guy who wrote this has no fucking clue about life. Zero clue about how life works. But go ahead, Frank. I'll let you talk first.
Yeah, this tweet I had to go, and this was what they call a game time decision in the business, guys, because we had another tweet I was gonna go with, and but this one just it stirred me. I gotta say, it stirred me because I read it and it's just like, I don't know if he's watching too much Yes Network. I don't know what's going on there, but
Oh, he's smoking a bit too much crack. That's
maybe
possible.
maybe
Might
a
be
little bit
ass
of that.
crack, to be honest.
Maybe he's hitting the good old Griselda special. I don't
That's
know.
it. It could very well
don't
be
know.
that. It could very well be that.
He needs to say no to Yes this season. Okay, he needs to tune into
What a
every
reference.
game season live and post game season live. That's right, because in 2024 we got you covered there too. And just he needs to stop. Okay, this is asinine. And you say, for those who say that he isn't tough, you know why you put that in there? Because he knows that that's the argument.
Yeah.
He is not
course.
tough. He does not hold players accountable. Don't tell us that we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, because we do. And you know how we do? It's really easy to tell. Because the next day they come out and do the same shit over and over again. Because Pete has been saying for years,
Go ahead, yeah.
this is the unprepared team.
The sloppy Yankees.
The sloppy Yankees from 2018. All right. It's been year after year. How are you going to sit there and tell fans, oh, you don't know what happens behind closed doors? The hell we don't. If they come out and do the same shit every day, what are we supposed to believe?
Francis, I say this all the time, bro. I say it all the time. I go, guys, how do I know it? Okay, let me tell you. I got a brain, a fucking eyes, and ears.
Exactly.
That's how I tell you how I know.
You got your 5 senses. That's how you know. That's how you know.
That's
Are you
all
watching?
need.
Are you watching the games? When I see things like this, it's like, are you watching the games? Do they sit there and they listen? That's the kind of fan. And I'm not just gonna. It's not to dogpile on him. There's a couple people who agree with this shit out there.
More than there should be, to be honest.
It shocks
keeping it
me.
real.
It shocks me because it's like you sit there and you hear the shit going on in those pressers and you believe it. Like you think that, oh no, we're right there. It's right in front of us. He hits a table and that gets you going. Like
it does.
That shit
They
gets
believe that shit.
You believe that
The
shit?
day he did it, I go, but let's see, what is he? Then he goes into the locker room and he serves cookies and he sits crisscross applesauce and does a fucking kumbaya on a guitar. That's what he does. I mean, look, here's the thing, man. This is as simple as this, and I'm gonna continue to say this and say this and say this and say this. Aaron Boone is probably a sweetheart of a guy. I've said this many times. He's probably that guy you hang out with your friends, and after 3 beers, he starts doing impressions, and you're cracking the fuck up. He's probably a fun guy to be around. He's probably very easy to go, yeah, invite Aaron over. Invite Aaron out with us. He's one of those dudes that it's like, you know what? He does make the time out fun. He's a fun guy to be around. Cool.
You want to have a beer with him?
Bingo.
Yeah.
I would love to sit down and talk with Aaron Boone over a couple of beers and just
Hell
ask him
yeah.
about what's happened. Here's the problem. Aaron Boone is not the right manager for the New York Yankees. And look, when Francis says things like this, which I give him credit for because he's the first person I heard say this, unfortunately for the Yankees, they have to win in spite of Aaron Boone. And that is factual. It's fact. Me and Kev talked about this yesterday. When the Yankees went to the ALCS and was 1 game away from the World Series in 2017, they got rid of Girardi, but they also got rid of a shit ton of good baseball people.
Yes, they
and
did.
we're like, we're going to go a different route. They also bring in Giancarlo Stanton, and the team sucked ass. They haven't come close again to really doing what they did that year. It was the wrong move to make. Was Girardi the guy anymore? Maybe not. Should they have moved on? Possibly so. Fact of the matter is they probably moved on to the wrong guy. And if you think it's only me, go back to the quotes that were out there from guys like Brendan Cuddy, from people in the Yankees organization who said they're shocked that Aaron Boone has not caught on as quick as they expected he would, that he needs to be tougher. I'm not making it up. Francis isn't making it up. You guys aren't making it up. It's coming from the organization.
It just came from the organization. This going into this offseason, Pete.
Boom.
What was
That's right.
what was the conversation? Oh, we're gonna possibly bring in somebody to maybe play the bad cop to Boone's good cop. And again, there's a lot of people who are okay with that also and think that we're just being hyperbolic, we're overreacting. I don't think that we are. Like, as a manager, you are the captain of the ship. I don't like Pete is not going to say, yeah, bring somebody in to help me steer NYYU to the top because no, he's the captain of the ship. If you can't steer, then don't captain, bro. Like that's what if you're Aaron Boone and it's like, no, we're just gonna bring in a bad cop to kind of help you out. No. You be the bad cop. You be the good cop and the bad cop, okay? Because when Joe Torre had to be the good cop and the bad cop, sometimes he did it. Now, don't get me wrong. He had his enforcers in the clubhouse, as did Girardi, aside from that. But when they had to do it themselves, they would do it. It wasn't a conversation of, damn, but like, if I go and I talk to this guy, like, am I gonna get invited to the barbecue? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're not, listen, I don't claim to know what kind of person Boone is exactly, like, and what he's doing. But it's like, we're just speaking off of what we see. You got two guys here on this podcast that this is what we do. Like, whether we do the content or not, we're going to be watching these Yankee games, right? Because we're sick. We got the disease. We have the disease. We're going to watch it.
I'm obsessed with the, I tell people all the time, I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with the Yankees.
We're going to watch it. So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a guy who, he looks like a guy that the players are really cool around, really comfortable around. Like, he doesn't walk into the room and people tense up or whatever. And maybe, we're living in a generation where they're telling you that that's what a leader should look like. But I don't come from that generation. Pete doesn't come from that generation.
Boone doesn't.
Guess what? Boone, thank you. Boone doesn't come from that generation.
Right.
Okay? We heard Derek Jeter say it in his documentary. This is Derek.
Come on,
Jeter.
man. You're going to get me hyped now.
This
Where the
is
fuck,
Derek.
G? Come here, G.
He's like,
I got
go
to get
get him.
G for this. No,
Look
go
at
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
He's like, this is Derek Sanderson Jeter saying, Mr. T. When Mr. T walked into the room, everybody, you sat up straight, you caught whatever. This is a Hall of Famer who should have been a unanimous Hall of Famer saying that when his manager walked in the room, you stood up straight, you put your chin up, all of that, whatever, out of respect for the respect that he commanded when he walked into a room. It wasn't, me and Joe, we used to go out for beers after the game and talk about. I'm talking, and I look really quick at the screen, and I just see Jeter's head bob.
Yeah, he knows. He's telling you. He knows.
Come on,
I'm happy
man.
you brought up Jeter. I'm happy, man. It just gets my blood boiling to what this team was.
Exactly.
How does Jeter and these guys notice? I mean, it drives me mad because the crazy thing is like, oh, you guys want him to be an asshole. No,
you don't.
No, I don't want him to come out and go, hey, this is the last. I'm telling the media today, this is the last time Gleyber Torres is gonna put his head down and not run. He's done.
Yeah.
I don't want that. You know what I want to see, Francis? I want to see in between an inning, he goes, oh, look, wow, they're having a conversation. He might play the rest of that game, but tomorrow he's sitting down.
Exactly. And we don't necessarily hear nothing. I don't know if you caught on to what Pete said.
That's it.
But what happens behind closed doors there, we don't necessarily hear it. All we notice is the next day, said player not in the lineup. We can speculate, we can imagine, but there was accountability. And that's the point that I was making. What the Yankees, what they were. That's where we come from. What else? You know what else they were back then? Winners. They were winning.
Yeah.
That was a winning formula. Now today, we have to look at, Brian Cashman and co. like put these teams together and stuff like that and put Aaron Boone at the helm and push a different philosophy than we're used to. And this different philosophy has yet to be proven a winner, but yet we're constantly told, well, Boone's he won 103 games and he won this and he won that. What is that? Where's the trophy for that? I didn't was there a parade? Did I miss it? Like, why am I supposed to celebrate an 100-win season? Like when Michael K says that, it's just like that's the one for me. That one, unbelievable. The 100-win thing.
I have something I want to share. We got a super chat here real quickly. NY Executioner says, "Hey Pete, hope all is good. I was just wondering, do you think the Yankees get Snell? P.S. I thank the Lord for making me a Yankee fan. Let's go, brother. I'm right there with you, fam. I think look, man. I know I'm hard pressed to say yes because I do kind of feel like they're over. But I just feel like if something continues to go, like Francis said, we're 10 days away from spring training, maybe he kind of steps up the Boras here and goes, hey, look, I just want to play on a winning team this year. I feel good. I'm going to take my chances. Kind of the way Judge did. I'm going to go out there. And let's be honest, if he has a good year again, he's going to get paid. I think people are just a little concerned about some things, but he's going to get paid. He's not overly old.
No.
We've seen what some of these older pitchers get that have good years.
He's going to get his money.
He can get paid. But I want to talk about this because this goes back to I'm sorry that I got to bring up a story that's happened in the past, but I got to do it with Aaron Boone. First, I got to play this because you might think I'm insane.
Maybe I am insane, Maybe I am insane, and maybe it's time for you to find out how insane I am. Yeah.
Macho
Maybe-
King, where you at?
This is how insane I might just be. So
man.
last year, right? You guys know the one thing I love about YouTube is you can clown on Pete. You could go back to Pete's videos and go, Pete, remember when you said this? And I'd be like, yeah, that was fucking wrong. You're right. It was very wrong. You can do that stuff on YouTube, right? You don't hide. You're here. You see my face. I'm right here with you guys. So last year, there was that moment, if you guys remember, where Aaron Boone apparently benched, quote unquote, benched Josh Donaldson. You remember this, Francis? You remember this?
I do remember
Chat,
this.
you guys remember this. So there's a couple of these nerds out there on Twitter that don't watch games, mind. They look at a box score and the thing, and they just, okay, he had a good game today, but those 2 groundouts should have been singles. That's the type of shit they do. They decided now's a good time to prove to Pete he holds guys accountable. I said, well, I mean, you're not wrong because, he benched somebody. Aaron Boone, the same day, comes out and talks to the media and goes, everything is okay. I told Josh, we think you're great and you're gonna be out there again very soon. And then I was able to go, come again? Come again? What's the accountability there, my friends? My little nerds? What's the accountability there? Can we go over it? To the fact, Francis, the player said, I'm not going out for BP. We're going to talk in a room together. Everybody's like, oh my God, they're talking still. Boone comes out and just goes, everything's good. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Nobody's benched. He's just going to take a couple of days off. He's going to be very productive. Fuck you.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up though, because like I was almost forgetting about that good old tale. But that's a very, very good cautionary tale to respond to that tweet that we just saw, because that proves 1000% who Aaron Boone is beyond any shred of a reasonable doubt. You understand? He couldn't live with people thinking that he had a hard talking to Josh Donaldson, which is why he came out and lied and said, oh, everything's okay, everything's good. You know what I mean? That's who he is.
Yeah.
That's the guy who he is. He wants to be liked. He wants to be loved universally in the clubhouse, by fans, by everything. Here's the thing, though. That's not possible. We don't live in a world where you can be universally liked. You see the difference between us here at NYU and other places, right? And you guys know this. You're in the chat, damn near 370 or whatever plus. You guys know this. That's why you're here right now.
Smack it like you hit it this hobby.
We know that we're not everybody's cup of tea. But guess what? We ain't trying to be everybody's cup of tea. All right.
No,
we're more
tell the
like
truth.
we're more like a stiff whiskey or your 20th rum and coke if it's Pete. You know what I mean? That's us.
Or a
Cup of coffee in the big,
big
time, yeah. Cup of coffee in the
Exactly.
big time.
with a little sambuca in it. That's
You know what
it.
I'm
You gotta
saying?
Spice up that coffee. That's all.
That's who we are. We know that we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. We're not trying to be. We're just trying to be who we are. Some days people are going to love us. Other days people are going to hate us. But guess what? Both days we wake up, we got air in our lungs, and we getting paid, baby. So that's all that matters. Boone needs to understand. You're not going to be loved by every last guy in that clubhouse. And if you're doing your job properly, that's going to be the result. If everybody likes you, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. You can't be good with everybody. You understand? It's
impossible.
this is a life lesson I'm spitting at this point. This is not even just baseball.
I was
It's a
about to
life
say,
lesson for everybody who doesn't know this.
Say it louder for people in the back who haven't heard this in a
You know
minute.
what I'm saying? You can't be good with everybody. Life just doesn't work like that. And the sooner you understand that, the better off you will be. For our all intents and purposes here, we're talking about baseball. For Boone, he has to understand that. Some days, Gleyber Torres is going to go in the corner and pout, and he's going to go on Instagram and post a couple words. Oh, well, so be it.
Yeah.
Field your position better, buddy, and we won't have to have these talks, all right?
It's that easy.
That's all it is. Play baseball.
And
I don't
look,
think Joe Torre was going over the top. Like, I just think he was telling guys, do what you
tell
got
the
to do.
truth. That's simple. Come on, man. You're here to play ball. You're not here to do nothing else. You're here to play ball.
That's what we're talking about.
This is something we've talked about a whole lot is we also support, one thing I don't want people to get confused by, we support Aaron Boone. Every
have
damn
to,
year,
yeah.
I sit there and go, maybe this is the year where he's going to go out in a shield and say enough is enough. Like, I'm not going to go out this way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what's going to happen. And look, I would be the first person jumping up and down, celebrating that Boone is the manager that we'd hoped he'd be this year.
Of course.
He's showing it
Of
this
course.
year. He's acting different. He's talking different. I like that. I dislike this. I'm going to call it down the middle all the time. I've done it last year with him during the beginning of the year. I said, I think there might have been this year or the previous year. I think it was this coming season when he sat Glaber like 3 games in a row and didn't mention anything. And it was like the first month or month and a half of the year. And he sat him down a couple of games. It might have been 22.
Might have been 2022, yeah.
But I remember calling these things out and going, look, that's good. That's a good thing. But, maybe we'll never see it with Boone. And look, at the end of the day, maybe he's not the guy. Maybe he's not the guy meant to lead this charge. He's also the first Yankee manager in 5 years not to take the team to the chip. And yeah, is that hard? Is modern baseball a little bit tougher and more competitive? Yeah, it is. But as to kind of revamp everything and kind of come full circle here, I don't think they're a World Series caliber team in a few areas. I think the management is one. I think the coaching staff is one. I'll be honest. They got Casey, and I liked it. I like Sean Casey.
I liked Casey too. Yeah.
Then you come out and hear the things that, oh my God, what was it again? The young guys didn't understand him well. Blah, blah, blah. What are we doing? Like, this is the same thing they said about Girardi and Tony Pena and these guys. Oh, they were too tough on the young guys, and we felt they were so good, this team. They just had to play under somebody who let them be. And what happened? All those guys diminished. Their value, besides Judge, they've all diminished.
Yeah, but it goes to show you that Judge was never really a product of what was being taught to him in a sense coming up. Judge was one of those special talents, as is Juan Soto, as is Garrett Cole. But when we talk about coaching and manager and stuff like that, we're not talking about it for guys like Judge, Cole, and Soto.
Right.
No,
Right.
we're talking about your Anthony Volpes. We're talking about your Austin Wells. We're talking about your Jason Dominguez. We're talking about your Spencer Joneses. We're talking about your Marcus Stromans who are now in the fold, your Carlos Rodons who are now in the fold. Very talented players. Some are brand new to the majors. Some have been around the block a couple times. But for whatever reason, they need to be managed. They need to be coached. There is some aspect of their game that needs guidance. When it comes to those guys, you need somebody at the helm who knows what to do with those players. It might not always be the manager, because it wasn't always the manager with Torrey, and it wasn't always the manager with Girardi. They had a full staff of guys where people could go. But what happened, and you said it, eloquently before, when they got rid of Girardi, I mean, people started dropping like flies. Tony Pena disappeared. Like people, guys who were here, who players could go to. Tony Pena is a guy that, you guys spoke about yesterday. I was really happy, and we've been talking about him for years. Tony Pena is a guy that meant a lot to the Yankee organization because what he was able to do, not just with Dominican players, it was, Hispanic players from all countries and stuff like that. He was a guy that was very relatable to them because he knew the struggle. He knew their struggle in a way that a lot of coaches maybe don't. Like a guy like Aaron Boone, for instance, right? Maybe it is hard for him to cross that bridge to a Gleyber Torres because Gleyber might look at him and say, I mean, it's me and this guy come from different worlds or whatever. Not Tony Pena. He can't.
Pena, no.
Gleyber wouldn't be able to do that shit with Tony Pena because Tony would sit at him and look at him and say, listen, buddy, whatever you went through, I went through the same shit. So, get over it. All right, we're here now. You're making millions. Field the damn ball. Run the ground out. I don't give a damn. Like, it's over. That's done. But if Boone says that to him, it might be taken a different way if you're Gleyber. But guess what? The same thing goes for a guy like maybe a Carlos Rodon who's like, I'm not coming from that. I grew up here, whatever like that. Give me somebody from here who's going to talk to me the way I need to be spoken to. We saw it last year. So I know I said Carlos Rodon, and maybe some people were like, I mean, Rodon, does he need to be coached? When you saw what he did to Matt Blake at the end of the season, I mean, he needs to be spoken to. That's not okay.
No, I called it out in the thing, man. I mean, and look, everybody knows how much I love this dude. And look, I'm that type of guy. I'm that type of guy. If you hear me talk to you, it's because I love you. You know what I mean? It's that simple. If I got to have a conversation with you, that's the reason why. But it's the same thing on a ball club. It's the same thing on a ball club. When Carlos Rodon went out there and he basically turned his back to the pitching coach. Me as the manager, I'd come out there and go get the fuck in the clubhouse. You're done. Give me. Get out of here. Go. Get in the clubhouse. We don't do that shit here. They're going back to Jeet.
Yeah.
I think it was David Wells or somebody said it that one time when Wells threw his hands up and Jeet was like, bro, we don't do this here. That does not happen with the Yankees. We don't do it. Gary Sheffield said it recently.
Yep.
Before a new player came on, they talked to them before, and then Jeter was the guy. And he would say, here's how we act here. Previous stuff you've done, we don't do it on this team.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's happening in the Yankee clubhouse currently.
Doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it, bro. And again, it's not. And even that, like that. Let's call a spade here. Like that doesn't just fall on Boone as the manager. It also falls on the players. We have a captain in that dugout. We're not walking around with a captainless team. Judge is that guy, but again, this was one of my reservations when he was made captain. I've heard you and a couple others speak about it. We love Aaron Judge. Let's get that out of the way. We love Aaron Judge. What Aaron Judge does on the field, I mean, listen, you can't say enough good things about it because of the talent that he is. He's fucking amazing. Now, as a leader in the clubhouse, I still think that the jury is out, not just because we haven't been to a World Series with him or let alone won one. It's just that some of the things that we see going on don't seem representative of a captain who's, getting in guys' faces a little bit and saying, yo, you got to calm that down. Like, it is a new era. Social media is a big thing. I understand people are more, conscious of their image now and stuff like that. But there are moments where you can kick the media out of the clubhouse if you have to. We've 100%. Heard about it plenty of times.
Done it. Michael K. happened to K.
Yeah, we've heard about this. These are things that have happened. I mean, just as recently as this season, I think it was. I was watching a Braves game late or whatever, and it was said that they had their media availability, but it was like hurried because the players wanted to have like a talk. So it was like a quick thing. They didn't get much from the players, and that was it. They were rushed out of the room because the players wanted to talk. What did they speak about? Nobody knows. But somebody somewhere on that team was like, "Yeah, we got to get some shit clear really quick."
Yeah.
We don't feel like that happens. We're not saying for a fact it doesn't happen, but we just don't feel like it's happening. And with Judge there, it's like, "Hey man, you're the captain now. You're going into year 2 of this captaincy.
Yep.
Let's start pulling guys aside and saying, hey, like we don't do things like this here. And if you need pointers because you're not sure how to do it or whatever, Jeter's around now. He's back around. He's no longer with the Marlins. He's back around the Yankee organization. Use him. That is Derek Jeter. He's right there.
That's right. That's a Yankee living royalty for many, many years that you have him at your disposal, if anything. So we do got a couple of super chats to get to. Our guy, Jeff J, says, watching you all. Oh, this is interesting. On the Apple Vision Pro. Wow, okay. Since my wife thinks the Grammys are more important than NYYU, holy shit. Well, I say no. Thank you, Jeff. And put on them funky goggles to hang with my people, mi gente. Smacky to likey, get me to Snelly. I like that. Smacky to likey, get me to Snelly.
Jeff probably feels like he's in the room with us right now with them goggles.
It could be Jeff. What does that do? Is that like, did I just like make you jump out your seat? I wonder
just if put your hand like.
Yeah, is it like 3D or something? I would squirt. I was about to say, let me just spit water. I was like, why the fuck would I damage all my shit? Max with the super chat says, been working like a madman. Nice to relax and see the boys again. Where do I get that Soto hat? Hey. You must ask.
Hey.
Well, there's a site called NYYunderground.com, my guy. This is, I got to be happy. This is my creation. Oh, yes, it is. So go to NYY Underground. The beautiful, lovely, wonderful fiance just went ahead and threw it right in there for you guys. Go on and enjoy it, baby. Go on and enjoy it. Buy it. Love it. Hug it. Please it. Tease it. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. David says, hello, gang. God bless everyone. I give Cashman a strong B+. Yamamoto was a bust, but one more arm and a closer, and it's an A. That's a lot to ask for these last couple of weeks. LA Dodgers, Yankees, World Series is a must. I don't want to be an ass, but I almost feel like neither one of those teams are going to be in the World Series. And I hate saying I don't want to be. I don't want to be an ass. I love the Yankees. I pray the Yankees are unbelievable. I want to call a good year. I want to call a World Series with the Yankees in it.
Of course.
But you know how to shoot. It's not easy. We'll see.
I have the itch to go to a World Series game like you freaking people wouldn't believe, bro. But
Imagine
it's
me
like,
at a where I'll go nuts.
yeah,
Holy
nah,
shit!
weird.
I don't know if I'm allowed.
I'd be so wired. I mean, by the sixth or seventh inning, I mean, they'd have to check my pulse or something. It'd be bad. It would be bad, but good in a very good way. But I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, it seems it's one of those things. Like it's like, yeah, right. Like it's too good to be true. You're gonna get the Dodgers, and I know baseball would love it.
Oh my God, who
I
wouldn't?
know
We would love it.
Manfred. I know Manfred dreams about it every freaking night. The possibility, because you know the money that would make. I
Mhm.
mean, this season too. On top of that, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Otani, Mookie Betts, all these guys. I mean, Freddie Freeman. I mean, it doesn't get more star
Star
power than
power,
that.
man. All star, international star
Forget
power,
it.
by the way,
I
too.
mean,
So
you got Japan locked in. You got
DR.
DR locked in. You got.
yeah,
I mean, that would be. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't see us getting that this year. But hell, if we
Yeah.
do, you're not gonna find two happier guys than the guys you're looking at right now. I'll tell you that.
100%, man. That would be absolutely unreal. And look, we're not saying any of this to, we don't want it to come across as being negative. At the end of the day, games got to be played on the field. The Yankees could be a very, very good team this year. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that. They obviously got some things they got to work on. The pitching has to be somewhat healthy. They got to take the ball. Carlos Rodon has to be Carlos Rodon a bit. Marcus Stroman got to be Stroman. Is he going to be healthy? Is he more that second half guy, more that first half guy? I tend to believe that one thing about Marcus Stroman is the guy's always kept himself in phenomenal shape. Guys like that stretch a lot, that are flexible. You tend to feel that they could bounce back maybe a little easier. That's always the concern with Stanton, right? It kind of seems like he's a stiff.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's
not
like,
pliable.
are you going to be able to kind of be that guy? But there's a lot of questions again. And don't get me wrong. When I say that, I'm not saying there's no questions about the Baltimore Orioles. Those guys got to repeat what they've done. They won 101 games. They added a great pitcher, but they have to repeat what they've done. The Rays got questions. The Jays got questions. The Yankees do. Forget about the Red Sox. They got a shit ton of questions. So, I even think the Astros have questions. The Dodgers got questions. Is Otani going to be Otani? Is he going to live up to the deal? Is Yamamoto going to be the same guy? I tend to believe he will be, but everybody has questions. The Yankees have some scary ones, but at the end of the day, it's got to be played on the field, and they aren't set up very poor.
No.
They're set up in a pretty good way right now. Can they get better before the year? It'll be nice, but we'll see.
Yeah. Look, bottom line for me, going into 2024, I feel a hell of a lot better than I did going into last season. A hell of a lot better.
No question. No question
It's
about it.
It's night and day.
Especially on the offense side. On the offense side, more than anything, I feel a whole lot better.
This feels like an offense that is not gonna, sleep for the first 4 or 5 innings, or if they come out hot, go to sleep after the first 4 or 5 innings. Like this feels like an offense that's gonna give opposing pitchers a very long day every time out, and that's something special. That is what we've seen from teams that have found success recently, like the Phillies, like the Braves, the Dodgers for that matter. These are teams that put out lineups that they're just every single day they don't quit. And so the guy who's out there on the mound has to work every single inning. Those teams tend to win a lot of games because it's very hard to be perfect to every guy in the box. It's hard. I mean, every pitcher, a starting pitcher will tell you they look for those lanes where they can kind of dial it back a notch. If you have a lineup that's deep 1 through 9 and a pitcher can't dial it back a notch at some point, at one point or another, he's going to give up a mistake. Yeah. And it seems that we put a lineup together that's going to be able to capitalize off of those mistakes. It seems like we have a bullpen that's going to be able to come in and protect a couple leads. The issue with me is what we've been saying. Do we have that rotation that's going to be able to hand that ball over day in and day out to the bullpen, with the lead still intact. Consistently. That's the big word. Consistently.
So you just mentioned how much better the lineup is. I got a question that I want to ask you, and I want to ask the chat. So guys, let me know after I say this, what do you think? Do you believe that this is the best lefty-righty, righty-lefty combo of Soto and Judge, Judge and Soto, however they do it, since Poppy and Manny?
I'm going to say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I feel like you got. I mean, we
It's
had
gotta
the
be, right? It's
conversation.
gotta be.
We had the conversation. You guys had it yesterday. I spoke with people in the chat about it yesterday. I mean, guys, it's Aaron freaking Judge. To me, when healthy, I don't think there's a better hitter in
There's
baseball
not. There's
than
not.
Aaron
I don't care
Judge
what anybody
today.
says. There's not.
Okay?
There's not.
When you go from Aaron Judge to the next best hitter in baseball, there's arguments, but I personally believe that next best hitter is Juan Soto. It just so happens that one of them is a righty, the next one is a lefty. Both of them will be in this lineup. That is ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, Manny was a phenomenal player, a very freaking scary guy to freaking have to face coming up.
Hell yeah.
We dealt with that shit a lot. And then
Hell
Big
yeah.
Poppy on deck. I mean, it was nuts. I mean, Juan Soto and that on base percentage and Aaron Judge and that power and that discipline and this. Yeah, it's gonna be a long fucking day. And they have an opportunity to be something historic. I 100% believe that.
I just wanted to do this real quick just to show. There's Soto. There's Judge.
Jesus Christ.
There's Soto. And there's Judge.
Jeez.
So I mean, you're really
luck.
looking at something extremely special.
Good luck.
I mean, this could be something very, very special. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care about the juicing shit. I don't care about the steroid. I don't care about that when they talk about a Manny and Poppy. I don't care about that. No. The end of the day, those two guys back to back as a Yankee fan, and I'm open to admit it. I said it back then. I'll say it now. Made you shit your pants. You had to wear Depends when you watch those games. Like, at some point, I'm going to shit myself. There's no doubt about it. It's going to happen.
This game
it's bound
is
to
brought
happen.
to you by Depends.
Brought to you by Depends. Strap them on. You're going to make an accident. That's exactly what the tagline was, and that's how it is. But looking at it now with the Yankees, okay, we have our concerns about who the leadoff hitter could be. Should it be DJ? Who knows? Whatever. But you look at the 2-3. It's not going to be a 3-4. It'll be the 2-3. And if it's Judge and Soto, and that's the way they go about it, which is the way I originally wanted it, because that on-base percentage for Aaron Judge, I feel like is the way it should be. Yep. But holy hell, man. That is something that is going to be spectacular to watch every year, because you got to assume that the Yankees are going to be off to a lot of 1-0 leads, 2-0 leads, 3-0 leads, early in games. And these guys are going to be very hard to get to every time. Mind you, another thing about both of these guys, Aaron Judge and Soto, in the last couple of years, correct me if I'm wrong on this, chat, because I don't think I am. I think Judge has stepped up big in this area. They're some of the best hitters in baseball late in games.
Clutch, yeah.
Am I wrong about that? I think Judge changed that. He's become that. Soto's always been that. He's always been very clutch.
No, the last couple of years has been Judge kind of answering that bell. At least in the regular season.
Right.
Judge has definitely changed that narrative in terms of like what he's been able to do late in games. But again, Soto's always been that guy. We can put him aside there. Judge was a guy that didn't necessarily, have the best protection early in his career coming up. Not a lot of lefties in the lineup to hit before him or behind him.
Who was his protection when he hit 62? What was it?
I mean,
Rizzo most of the year, right?
Rizzo most of the year. Yeah. But imagine, right? Like that's when things started shifting, and you brought in Rizzo and the Gallos and stuff like that. You brought in some lefties to balance it out, and it wasn't even the best lefties out there. Yeah. But Rizzo's a pretty damn good lefty when healthy, and that's what the result was. Now you brought in Juan Soto. This is not just a pretty good lefty. I think he's the best left-handed hitter in baseball, all-around complete hitter. I'm not saying he's the best left-handed power guy. I'm not saying he's the best left-handed average guy. I'm saying all-around complete hitter. Look at that page. There's nobody better. There's nobody better.
I got to shout out my brother, the Great Dane, because, man, he's right. Dominguez, Soto, and Judge for the next 10 plus years, bro. Sign me the fuck up. I know. I get it, Judge 10. You guys know what I mean. Multiple years to come. Holy friggin' shit, man. You sign me up for that, crazy. Bro. Think about this too, Francis. Crazy. Switch lefty righty. I mean, that's everything you'd want. That gets me friggin' going like you can't imagine. That to me is baseball, baby.
It's a dream.
That to me is baseball. But Guys, we're going to get ready to wrap it up. Before you go, I got a couple announcements I want to make.
Oh, yeah.
We got a large audience here. You guys know we talk a real lot about our events we have at Yankee Stadium. The last event we had planned was September 23rd last year. It got rained out. Everybody who bought tickets, mind you, was 115 people. Those tickets got transferred over to our new date. That is April 20th of this year against the Tampa Bay Rays. 1 o'clock game in the Audi Club at Yankee Stadium. Tickets will be on sale this coming week. That is what I've been told by the Yanks. Could be as early as tomorrow, could be as late as Friday, but I am expecting it to be next week. Here's the big nugget out of all of this. 43 tickets is all we have because we have sold out the Audi Club. Cannot go more than what they've given us. That is it. 43 tickets. I know a lot of you have already kind of made flight plans. You need to book these things fast. We do have a couple of some people who can't make it last year. That aren't going to make it this time, that are willing to sell their tickets. So I got a couple of those on reserve that we're going to work with. But again, I'm just letting everybody know, if you want to go to the event, do not procrastinate. They are going to go. 43 is nothing. We've done 20 tickets sold in a day. They are going to go very, very quick. And I asked, if we sell these out quick, can we get more? The answer is no. Cannot get no more. There's no possibility. There will be no tickets remaining. Once I have it, you guys will have it just about every day. It'll be on Twitter. It'll be all over social media. Get it while you can because they will not last. I'm telling you right now, they will not last. Francis knows.
Yeah, no, you guys, and listen, you don't want to miss an NYYU event. There is nothing under the sun like an NYYU event. We are not, the kind of people where you come and it's like, oh, you're not even going to be able to, talk and hang. No. We're all going to be there and we want to chill and hang out with you guys. We want to have a beer with you guys. We want to watch the game with you guys. We want to take the pictures. We want to have a good time. Like, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. These are absolutely phenomenal chances for us to really build with you guys. I mean, we see you virtually every week, but I mean, to get there and have a good, conversation and just chill in person, there's nothing like it. And you could talk to any of the people in the chat, the regulars who are here all the time. They'll tell you there's nothing like it. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. April 20th, be there. Make sure, if you don't have a ticket already, make sure you're one of those 40 something that we got left, because we want all you to be there, but unfortunately, it is what it is, baby. Sellouts. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
And the other thing too that I want you guys to be aware of, Jira's right when she just said this. We already got about 15 people that we know are buying basically on day one, so they're gonna go really quick. And Hirsch, Hirsch says you get to meet the boss, nothing better. No, you get to meet everybody in this community, all of you all together. Hirsch, look at the relationship with you and Medina. I mean, that's just you guys meeting each other and getting to know each other through NYYU. So many of you have done that. So many people even on Twitter are getting together and be like, oh, we met at the event and we started talking. We became friends and, we're doing Twitter spaces and all this fun stuff. The food's amazing, guys. It's not hot dogs. It's I'm not shitting on hot dogs. I like me a Frank. But it's not that. It's veal chops, pasta, pizza, desserts, all the beverages you want. There's a bar right there that you could go and get yourself a drink whenever you want. It is amazing. It is unreal. I would not, look, it's our event. We want people to come, of course. But I guarantee you the bang for the buck is real. You're going to love it. The view, phenomenal. You are going to be in love with the Audi Club when you go. That's one thing the Yankees have done a great job on. You're going to really enjoy it. Again, too, we got a lot of stuff on the site. NYY Underground, I recommend the new exclusives. Check them out. They're phenomenal. You're going to love it. We got a super chat. My guy, Replay Op. I can't be mad at Cashman during the offseason. He made respectable offers to Snell and Yamamoto. My wife and I are hoping to make it to the stadium. Let's go, brother. I hope to see you there. And
nice.
Yeah, look, we still gave him a B+. We still gave him a B+.
Yeah,
I think Cashman's done a good job. He's kind of restructured the roster, which we talked about earlier. Go back and rewind it and take a look at it.
Yep.
But Francis, I'll leave the final words to you, and then we'll wrap it up.
Listen, man, you guys
That's
already
what
know.
she said.
Another classic episode of DS in the books, man. But y'all already know. You got a big week coming up next weekend. So we won't see you guys on Sunday because of the big game,
Right.
Super Bowl. You know, we got the boss's Niners
He
up against
sure is purdy.
up against the eventual losers in Taylor Swift's team. But after that, we will see ya. So keep it locked and stay tuned because the next episode will in fact be the best episode.
Yeah, and you guys know we will never come whack on a designated Spittaz track, baby. Until next time, guys, we out. See you later.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah. Hey, we on your look, top floor, lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up. Way too high, ain't coming down, you see me if you looking up. I don't really talk too much, so I'm running numbers up. Lucky that I'm showing up, I'm going off, they know what's up. Wrist too silly, yeah, numbers crack the billy. Yeah, don't need no dilly, I'm too fresh, I feel like Willie, yeah. Feel the duffels up the sign, I need a million. I'm about to take off, and I know that I'm on they radar. Top 10